So yes, the dial-up era, our 10% of our lives was in a digital platform where we can connect to the internet, where we can do some stuff, but 90% of our lives was offline, was a physical interactions. When we moved to the broadband in the 3G era, it was like a 50-50%. It was some of our life is online, some of our lives is offline. And now, and even after the COVID, we experienced that maybe more than 95% of our lives is moving into digital. And thanks to the technologies, we are always, especially in the COVID times, we're trying to thank Zoom and Microsoft Teams and Cisco WebEx and all this kind of applications that facilitated our life and made us have an event like this online without flying people here and there and having them in their homes. But again, this would have never happened without all the research being done from the communication and telecom engineers and all the background history that we took from the 2G and 3G era and all this infrastructure that being built in the countries to allow us to have the internet connectivity to do all this kind of information exchange. So as we speak, 90% of our life is on a digital perspective and 10% is offline. And this gives us lots and lots of opportunities in the digital world. And I will speak into this in the coming slides. So what this gave us as opportunities, these three phases, on the dial-up era, we started to retrieve information and view content. So you just enter, you go to Yellow Pages, you want to understand where the address of the post office, you want to understand where the address of your clinic or whatever. So you just go and retrieve some information because internet connectivity that time, it was not so fast. And we can view some content online. So we can view maybe a photo, we can exchange some emails with some scanned documents and so on. So we can view content online and we can retrieve and share this information. But when we moved to the broadband and the 3G era, where we had fast internet connectivity at our home, we started to use the service online. And what I mean by using the service online, that you can go to Facebook and you can collaborate with your friends using the website itself, using their features, commenting, liking, sharing. You go to different other services and you start using it while you are online. You can't do it while you are offline. So this opened up big opportunity frames for a lot and lots of businesses, and we will talk about this. So sharing content as well. So you are sharing content instantly with your friends and families and your work colleagues. And we had a multimedia revolution. So people started to create videos, to create content, to create their own pictures and to show their talent to the other world. So it was not only retrieving the information, but we can create this content and we can put it online. We can create our videos, we can open channels, and we can create some sort of parallel media, not only the TV and radio. So we saw podcasts, we saw lots and lots of information revolution happening in this era. Moving to the 5G and the 4G era, and I combined the 4G and the 5G because 5G is giving us low latency and higher connectivity rates, which will help us in something we call collaboration. So nowadays, and maybe in the future, what will happen in the next 10 years, that people will be able to collaborate on one and each terminal or a program via cloud computing and cloud servers. So we can go and we can work in one maybe Photoshop a picture or a multimedia video. We can create everything online. So it is not about creating the content offline and uploading it to the world, but 3 and 4 or 5 people can collaborate, working on the same instant, working on the same maybe video and rendering it and doing all the edits that they need to do, and then uploading it to the server that they need to upload, or maybe the terminal that they want to show to the world what is this content. So people will be collaborating online, and this is what's happening right now. We are now doing our sessions online. We are trying to do design thinking and ideation, and most of our work is being done online. So the collaboration is happening because of this era, because of facilitating the technologies, and these technologies out there. And this will continue for the coming 10 years. What happened for COVID, that it was a big pause and it had to let people stay home. But what we learned, that we can do lots and lots of our jobs and collaborate these jobs while we are in remote places, not necessarily from our home, but from remote places. And this is the thing that we will be having for the next phases. Lots and lots of companies right now are trying to hire people remotely without bringing them physically. You can stay wherever you want to stay, but we are collaborating online. And this is what will happen in the coming phase, and thanks to technologies and 5G. So in the first phase, many connected devices in the dial-up era, many connected to one device, not many devices. So lots and lots of people in the family, maybe 4, 5, 6, 7 or more, connected to one computer, and this computer was connected online. So there were no personalization for data. There were no personalization for ads. There were no personalization for anything. When we moved to the broadband era, we had one person connected to many devices. So you have it on your phone, on your laptop, on your PC. Maybe you have 2 phones or an iPad as well. You have a PlayStation. You have some terminals that it's connected online, but you own all of them. In the next era, where we are trying to have this IoT and artificial intelligence gathering data, so we have many human people that they are connected to many devices, and we have also devices which is connected to many other devices in the world. So maybe your fridge is connected to the server somewhere, and this fridge is sending the data of what is inside the fridge, of what is the food, what is there, what is not there. And this connectivity is creating some sort of maybe alerts sent to Amazon to tell them that these guys doesn't have milk in their fridge, so they start sending ads to you and letting you know that you need to have some milk because your habit is to buy milk in the past 2 or 3 weeks, but you didn't buy it and your fridge doesn't have milk inside. So this is what's happening right now, that even machines, even devices, cars, household devices, devices inside the gym, devices that you wear, like the wearables, all these kind of devices is trying to be connected and to send all this huge amount of information. And we take this information, digest it, and to create this kind of alerts and rules, which we call the artificial intelligence, and to try to predict what is the next best action for you and for your life and device while you are not interacting, you are not doing anything. You are just paying. So again, the dial-up era in the 1990s are moved fast, and this is how the screen was looking like. It was it was something that wowish thing in that time. The internet connectivity was 56 kilobit per second. We just retrieve information, we get the data. Maybe we do some orders online. So we had Amazon. We do some freelancing jobs. Maybe we do some chatting and communication. And that was the best that we can do online at this point of time. I'm talking also on the commercial side, on the business side, where we can, as consumers, understand what this is for us. The type of companies was there: Amazon, Yahoo, America Online, if you guys remember it, Netscape, eBay, Google, ICQ, Goro, and Alibaba. Most of these companies, some of them are still existing right now. So we had this e-lancing economy where people trying to freelance of their jobs online, and we had some online payments, so you can go and pay. You can go and put your credit cards. Many people, as you see in the graph, were connected to one device, and they were connected to the internet via one terminal. In the broadband and the 3G era, which is the 2000s, we had a megabits connection. So we still retrieve data, we still get the data online, we still order, we still do the communication, but we are mostly connected 24/7. We now use the service online. So we can go to Facebook, we can go to Twitter, we can be connected. And this is now a term that you guys are talking about. You are connected, you are online. So once you are online, you have various of products that you can use while you are connected to the internet. If you are not connected to the internet, you can't do all these kind of services. You can download songs, or maybe you can stream them and videos and so on. Photo sharing as well, and you can create your own website. You can create your own content and put it online. It was there in the past, but it was not that easy to create your own website. You needed to go into special directions, because it was not that common that people can create their own content and can upload it on the 56 kilobit per second connectivity. And we had this kind of connectivity products that started to emerge as a result of this connectivity, as a result of this infrastructure. So iTunes, Facebook, WordPress, Netflix streaming started to emerge. YouTube, Skype, Apple Store, Google Store, all this kind of information where people can go and create their own products and create their own apps, and it is the era where the mobile app business started to grow, the Netflix streaming started to grow, and the video streaming business started to grow, and that was not because of the coding and the intellectual properties of how people are using C++ and C# and coding techniques. It was because that there is a platform that when we create a product, we can, as a person, we can put it online, we can collaborate this with everyone else. And yet one person can be connected to different kind of terminals and having different connectivities and data gathering. So the 4G and the 5G era, so we started to move in a very different direction. This is what we are living right now, and what will happen in the next phase, that we have a megabit and a gigabit connectivity. So we can create and upload the content instantly. We can do it online. We can create it while we are online. We can collaborate while we are online. We can create products while we are online. We can do e-learning. We can do kind of events while we are staying at home because of the connectivity and infrastructure. We can do the streaming for sure. We can do online storage. So you don't need to get a lot of storage, hard drives and hard disks and so on. You can just put them in some online storage company, and there are a lot of businesses emerged from the online storage demand that it was created. Digital and cryptocurrencies and name it. A lot of things happened due to the connectivity and due to the fast pace of collaboration online happened in the emerging markets. This is some kind of products that have been there because of the fast connectivity. So we are collaborating via Uber, Airbnb, and Dropbox. So you use the service while you are online, you finish the service while you are online. Maybe it's a physical service, but it requires 100% connectivity, 100% being online. If you're not connected, you can't use it. And it requires fast connectivity, because if you are ordering an Uber, you need to see it right now, where the car is, what is the name of the driver, where they are. You can send your estimated time of arrival to your friends so they can track you instantly. And thanks to the infrastructure and the fast internet, this is the result of the infrastructure 4G and the 5G, which is coming. It will allow us to create a lot of other products. So again, iCloud and Coursera and Bitcoin and PlayStation VR and all the sharing economy products, why they are created? Because there is an infrastructure that will allow them to create all this kind of products. Um, why we're talking about this? Because we need to understand that the next phase is about fast connectivity, is about a huge amount of businesses being created because there is a place that we can collaborate, we can stay online on longer times, and it can allow us to have more data being transferred online. It is not only about streaming videos online, which people are talking about right now these days. Like 5G will allow us to stream fastest videos. This is not the case. It's all about collaborating. It's all about making more people getting more connectivity online in a faster way, in an instant way, that we can track our packages, we can track our products, we can track people where they are, and it will create a lot and lots of opportunities and businesses as well. So now there are 3 billion users are connected to the internet through mobile phones, which is maybe half of the planet, and maybe more. And this is as well, it's an opportunity by itself. Netflix by 2021 will have more than 80% of the traffic data of the whole internet. And they say that it will be video on demand, or videos that people are streaming and creating as well. So this opens a lot and lot of opportunities for people who are creating their content and creating their own videos, that people will be using a huge amount of data traffic online. By 2030, more than 800 million jobs will be lost to robotic automation. And this, again, this will be allowed, and this will be an open place for people who are working in robotics and automation and trying to automate the jobs that people are doing right now. More people will be losing their jobs, more people will be staying at home, more robotics will be doing very, very basic or maybe complex tasks that the people are doing right now, employees are doing right now. And this is an opportunity by itself for people who are trying to create their own businesses, or maybe start a small thing that you can try in the business of automation. You can try to create a process which is done by some person. You can replace it to be done automatically, or to be done with a code or a script, or to be done through internet. And faster connectivity will allow you to do this. In the past, you couldn't have been even try to think that you can control, you can get the data, you can do the job right, and you understand that you did it right, while you didn't have the connectivity. And the faster connectivity which will be there will help us to do this. One of the most important and fascinating things, that by 2030 people will be taking commercial trips to Mars. And what that means, that these commercial trips will be having people like me and you guys over the call, normal people that they want to go to Mars, and they want to enjoy their time there in a trip maybe for 10 years and come back. So if any one of you, and this is a question that is very basic to answer, if any one of you had a beautiful trip to maybe Austria or maybe to Australia, they will be taking pictures of the plane, of how they are traveling when they go there, sightseeing and everything, and they take these pictures and they put it online. So imagine that you are going to Mars, not to Australia. Imagine that you are going to another planet. You want to take pictures, you want to communicate with your friends, you want to put this online, you want to brag about how you are going to Mars and how you are in the space. You want to take pictures of the space and take selfies and to send it to your friends. So you need to have this kind of communication platform that it can allow you to send this kind of pictures to your friends. And this is one of the challenges that mobile operators and communication tycoons are working on right now, to allow people visiting other planets to communicate to each other via a commercial platform. Definitely, there is a platform now that NASA is using to send and receive data, but it is not a commercial thing. It is not something that we can buy a SIM card and we can use it while we are traveling to Mars. So we're talking now about the commercialization of this kind of technology, and it requires a lot of R&D, and people are working right now in creating this kind of platforms and commercial connectivity for people traveling to our to the outside world, not necessarily to Mars, maybe to any other planet. And this is what we call the telecom business of space. So if you guys are traveling or you took a trip outside of Jordan or outside of any other place and you're going to another country, you receive an SMS telling you welcome welcome being in Egypt, or welcome being in UAE, and this is the data rates, this is how you can use our services. So now we need another services that will tell us, you already left Earth, you're already on the moon, welcome to the moon, and this is the data rates and how you can call your friends and family on Earth, and this is the amount of money that you need to pay. So that was a glimpse of what's happening and what has been done, and I wanted to share this information with you guys, and to open your ideas and maybe let you understand what is the next phase of the whole this information going here and there. I urge you to go and to look up the Gartner technology hype, which is the technology hype that they issue each and every year, and you will understand what are the technologies there in the market, where they are, and when they will be actively being used in the market. It's called Gartner technology hype. If you can Google it, you will find a lot of information that will be valuable to you. Yeah, that was my my course of presentation, and I'm open to questions if any.
Thank you so much, Khalid, for your valuable time. Thank you so much.
Yeah, anytime.
We will open up the questions. If anyone have a question, please raise your hand and we will unmute you, or feel free to write your question in the chat section.
I will check the chat. I don't know if anyone sent something, but I think that no one sent anything. So
anyone have a question?
okay, I think that's it.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you, Mokhtar, for the wonderful presentation. There have been a lot of agitations all over the world that the 5G technology is going to cause harm to people. Do you share this belief that 5G technology is going to cause dangers? Some people believe that COVID-19 was a creation of 5G technology in China and even in some other countries of the world. What is your technical view to this? Thank you.
So before I answer this question, I want to ask you a question. Can you share with us how old are you? If you can, if you want.
Yes, I'm 39.
Okay, so maybe you can remember that in the past when we started to roll out the 3G and even maybe the 2G, the towers, that we had the same concern from people all over the world, that they said that the towers are causing lots of harm to people, and they started to even harm the engineers who are going to the sites and building the sites and so on and so forth. So the challenge that we are facing right now, for people are saying that the 5G is harmful, it is not a new thing. We faced the same before when we were trying to roll out the 2G. To answer your question, nothing is harming humanity from 5G, and the COVID-19 had nothing to do with 5G. Definitely, from all the technical perspectives and from all the technical journals and data that you can find online. You can go to the IEEE spectrum, you can go to all the research that's being happened, and you will not find a correlation at all. And I know that this hype is happening, but this hype has nothing to do with any kind of technical information or a technical base. It is something that like the flat Earth society. So there are some people who believe that Earth is flat. Why they believe in that, why they are trying to present their ideas, why trying to say that if we go to the North Pole we will fall down, I really don't know. And again, this has nothing to do with what's happening and with the advancement of technologies. For sure, any technology is harmful. So if you open your laptop and you stare to the laptop for more than 5 hours, it will be harmful for your eyes. So any technology is harmful for people, but again, if extensive use and if you got maybe a microwave link which is transferring huge amount of data and you stood in front of it for more than 5 hours, definitely it will be harmful for you. But this is not the case, and there is a health and safety measures is being taken care of in all the technology operators and the vendors that they are building the 5G sites right now that can prevent a lot of things that people are trying to say in the world. Speaking of COVID-19, we didn't have any 5G sites being rolled out, I think, before March 2020. We didn't have, maybe at each and every country you have like 10 or 5 sites, and this will never cause this harm happen to the world. So the cause of COVID-19 is totally different, and it came from a totally different place, and we can find this information online. So yeah, I hope I answered your question clearly.
Yeah, you answered the question correctly. However, please, can you share your email with us?
Yeah, I will write it on the chat. So I will send you my email, and you can look me up on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. My name is Khaled Mukhtar. I don't know how to get the chat, but I will write it here in the presentation somewhere, and you guys can. But that's my email, and yeah. You can see it, right?
Yes, I've seen
okay,
it.
Good.
Any other questions? Anyone? Okay, thank you so much, Khaled, for your presentation.
Anytime, Heba. Thank you for inviting me, and thanks for the organization and all this volunteering effort that you guys have been doing. It's really my honor to be there in your IEEE event, and I hope the success for the event as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We will take a break for an hour, and we will return afterwards. Let's have a break. Thank you so much for your good listening.
Okay, goodbye.
إن شاء الله هو رياضيات، والله رياضيات اسقط تبعهم، والله أنا شفاري.
خلص شكل الاستضافة.
Hello, Mika here.
Hello, everyone. Let us continue our journey into the future, to a new world inspired by imagination, a world that knows nothing but innovation, digitization, and modern technologies. Among these technologies are the sixth generation networks. To learn more about the sixth generation networks, Mr. Mike Rantakako will be with us, who is best suited to talk about the sixth generation networks. According to his work as Director of Communications in 6G Flagship, which is the first research and innovation center in the world on the sixth generation technology, based in Finland. His work as coordinator for the digitization company of the European Union's urban agenda. He also has extensive experience through his work in the public and private sectors, including European Commission, Innovation Center, and Technological Center and Cyber Lightning. And he headed the Open Innovation Platform Network, a strategy for sustainable urban development, which it was implemented in 6 cities in Finland. Let me introduce you to Mr. Mika Rantakoko.
Hello, nice to be in this conference. It would be really a pleasure to give you an overview of our activities working with the future generation of wireless communications. I would like to show you with some slides. I hope you can see my presentation now.
Yeah, it's clear.
Yes, that's excellent. Okay. So, in my presentation, I will be talking to you about the 6G flagship, the world's first 6G research program. Then I will have thoughts of a presentation about our 6G white paper work, that is to say, defining together with a global network what is 6G and what kind of thoughts there could be to make it happen. And then some 6G visions, what will be the future of wireless. But first, I would like to tell a little bit about where I'm coming from. I'm coming from city of Oulu in Finland. As a former CEO, Mr. Suri said, Oulu is the world's best place, second to none, for radio access engineering. That is to say, we have very strong background in pioneering wireless. As you see also from this PC magazine cover, so it is a pretty nice story about 5G living here. And of course, as working now with 6G, our goal is that we could put into the same PC magazine cover, 6G was born here. And I will be talking to you about it a little bit. So first, a little bit about our 6G flagship program. The program vision is that in 2030, that is to say, only 10 years from now, we would have a society which is data-driven, enabled by near-instant unlimited wireless connectivity. The basic idea with this vision is that we do have a lot of expectations concerning 5G, but according to our understanding, not all those expectations can be met with 5G. So we need next generation, and that's where we are aiming at with our 6G research work. Concerning the research program as such, as said, it is world's first so far. We have a 8-year program from 2018 to 2026 with a total volume of 250 million euros. That doesn't mean that I would have 250 million in my pocket, but it's more like we have a seed funding from Finnish academia and Finnish Oulu University, but then substantial amount of funding comes from different kinds of projects. Project is, of course, the main tool for our collaboration and the work. Together with University of Oulu, we have also some strategic partners as Nokia, VTT, the State Research Center, Aalto University from Helsinki, business development agency of our city, and Oulu University of Applied Sciences. With all this grouping of experts, we have been defining the research program to cover these 4 categories. Wireless connectivity, where we are aiming at ultra-reliable low latency communications, which would enable unmanned processes. And then we're talking about devices and circuits. So to make this wireless connectivity to happen, we do need the devices. And there we're talking about terahertz communication materials and circuits, as well as devices. So this device and circuit research means the research starting all the way from raw materials, as the existing raw materials with radios aren't able to provide this terahertz level. So it is very basic research from the basic raw material level and onwards. Another aspect concerning 6G and the fast connections is distributed computing. As we are developing fast connection, that means that we are having also low latency expectation, and that means that computing must come closer to the end user so that it would enable these very fast connections. And when we have all these 3 technical solutions in place, then the 4th area of our research is in services and applications, where we are aiming at developing the applications and services exploiting these new opportunities provided by 6G. And there, besides technology, the focus is very much on business and disruptive value networks as well. What are then the goals? We have a research program developing the solutions, but the goals for that work are even broader. In addition to 6G, as it says here, we are talking about 6G technology, to develop 6G technology components, that's for sure the basic research goal. But we definitely don't want to forget the work we are still doing with 5G, because of course, still for many years to come, we are working with 5G and 5G in different verticals. And with this 5G development work, besides we are supporting the companies to finalize 5G standard and develop their products, we are also identifying the gaps of the technology where 6G is actually needed. So it's also supporting our big vision towards 6G and 2030 time frame. And then in addition to these technological or business perspectives, we are also talking about how we can speed up dependable, robust, and secure digitalization of our societies via co-creating 5G and 6G. So it is about technology, it's about business, but it's also about digitalization and digitalization for all. Concerning these practical tools we are using, this is an example of such things. So we have our own 5G test network here in our premises, in our campus area, which we also have a full control. That means our university, we work as a operator of our own, developing new solutions and testing them in our own 5G test network, starting all the way from dedicated SIM cards, which can be provided to researchers, but also to businesses who want to collaborate with us. And then also to provide some very detailed, high-level expert advice to companies if they need so. When talking about, I said about the budget of this work we are developing here, the projects are of course very essential. That means we have to collaborate a lot with different kinds of organizations and companies. And that means the ecosystem work, which is one of my responsibilities. In this context, we have, of course, industrial collaborators, meaning continuous interaction with the different kinds of companies, working with local level, national level, and international level. That means working with the practical development work of and testing of possible solutions, how they meet the needs of users and how technology solutions work. But then also having collaboration with companies with more long-term strategic views. Another perspective of ecosystem collaboration is the public-private partnerships. We do have this collaboration where we include all these different people in from different organizations putting things together as ecosystem work definitely requires this different aspects of work. So that means we have companies, public sectors, people, organizations, voluntary organizations doing things together. And as said, this infrastructure and trials, which I just briefly presented to you about this 5G test network. Concerning the cooperation in a broader scale, we have cooperation programs in national level, but also strategically in international level, such as bilateral international research organizations and programs, but also organizations like the European Union, which we are very closely collaborating with to take 6G also into their agenda. And all in all, also standardization, which is the basis for all these future developments that's needed, and where we are contributing to the work together with our collaborating companies and so. All in all, what it means in practice, we are talking about events, we're talking about projects, we're talking about networks, and we're talking about information sharing in between us and our partners. Partnerships, well, some options. So we have the affiliate level where we are open for any candidate who want to get more information about 6G, 5G and 6G. So everybody can join. Another level is project collaboration, where the minimum requirement is that we have at least one collaboration project. At the moment, we have several tens of projects, so plenty of project collaborators as well. In strategic partnership and in the strategic collaboration, we do have at the moment 3 companies: Nokia, Keysight Technologies, and Interdigital. And this means long-term commitment and long-term collaboration with these companies to develop next steps of wireless technologies. But indeed, it is very much about collaboration. So far, during our 2 first years of activities, our program, we have been focusing on research and basic research, and now very much with the ICT companies. So there we are creating the basis of 6G to come. But now more and more putting emphasis on verticals, and that means we are looking for more and more collaboration with non-ICT companies. That is to say, the companies which are going to be using the technologies and to be using the opportunities provided by these technologies. As said, related to our research, which we started 2 years ago, we have also been preparing some groundbreaking papers on what is 6G. We started this 6G white paper work 2019, when we arranged the world's first 6G wireless summit in Finnish Lapland. And there the major telecom players gathered and to define also the vision of 6G together. As an outcome of this work, which was started then, we published the first 6G white paper in September 2019. You can find this document from this link. So that was the sort of starting point. But as soon as we started this work, we also realized that 6G is a huge challenge, and that means we have to get more people involved, get more organizations involved and also to organize our work a little bit differently. And so we decided that we would start to share the work a little bit more. And that resulted the publishing or for the process with the 11 or 12 sub white papers which are now being published. The experts with more than 250 experts from more than 100 organizations and 30 countries have been working with these papers now, and those papers were discussed in our virtual 6G summit in March, and now the papers have been published already as a final version during the summer, and you can find all these papers from our website, from this 6gchannel.com. I will now go briefly through what kind of topics were discussed there and what kind of basic ideas we have been identifying in this white paper work as a basis for further steps with 6G. First of all, well, yeah, just to show some basic ideas, but indeed, the white paper work as the development towards 6G is not only about technology. As the concrete idea about this, we have been also linking the white paper work and 6G with UN Sustainable Development Goals. As highlights from that work, we have been identifying megatrends which are influencing the sustainable development of future wireless networks and technologies, and also developing sort of linkage in between the future technologies and UN Sustainable Development Goals, how they can be developed in parallel towards the target 2030, which is the target year for both the 6G vision and UN Sustainable Development Goals. 6G in that context has a threefold role as a provider of services to help support activities towards reaching the UN Sustainable Development Goals, and as a measuring tool for reporting and indicators, and as a reinforcer of developing 6G in line with the UN's SDGs. You can find contribution with help of future technologies to almost all of the Sustainable Development Goals. I'm not going to go through these in detail, but as said, all these papers can be found from our website, where you can find this address from also from here these slides. But indeed, just to state that when talking about ICT, it can be really used as a tool for making good, and that is exactly what we're aiming at with our activities. Concerning the 6G and ideas about what does it mean in practice, we also had a white paper on business of 6G. There, the highlights include the value capture in 6G era requires understanding of dynamics of platforms and ecosystems, not just technology, but all around it as well. So access to data and data ownership are the major factors, and limiting also is a means of control. Modularity and complementarity of technology solutions. There we have some challenges. It is about openness and transparency issues, and also how to compete with help of these new technologies. Also, the 6G business ecosystem for solving sustainability problems need some further work, but definitely that was also one part of this white paper work, to identify where we are going to do some more research. Validation and trials for verticals. As said, the work with 6G will be more and more towards verticals. And in this white paper, we have been taking a closer look on 6G drivers within some selected verticals, proposing a set of key performance and value indicators to to be taken into account when developing this usage of the technology, and also proposing some references for trialing when doing so. Concerning the digitalization, one big challenge is that the connectivity is still an issue in very large areas in the world. Our emphasis on this is that the solutions with help of 6G can bridge digital divide in rural and remote areas, but that those solutions must be easy to use, affordable, and provide sufficient data rate and availability. So a lot of challenges which are not only technological, but also business model related challenges. Our goal is that 6G could be the first mobile generation to close the digital divide. And there we need to concentrate on challenges of rural and remote areas from the beginning of the design. That means also that technological solutions can use mobile cellular solutions where people live and work, and also then various backhaul solutions, including large cell relays and satellites. So it's not one solution for all, but it is a combination. And that makes how to make it all work, we need novel regulation and cooperation between various stakeholders. 6G networking, now a little bit more technological approach. There we present some of the network advancements and implications introduced by the evolution of softwarization and service-based architecture. Please take a close look at that. And also presenting some key technologies that can be used as pillars for evolution towards 6G networking. In this 6G white paper focusing on networking, that we also explore the different analytics that can be gained from different segments. Machine learning as such is one of the topics. There we highlight the overview of the role of machine learning, and also from problem perspective, how we can define the different layers of communication protocol stack, and how to proposing also some tools for each problem in each protocol stack. Applications that will be able to utilize machine learning are of course there as well, and working also within the broader scope of wireless communications, such as UAV communications and networking are studied, and some thoughts and ideas are presented there in this white paper concerning wireless communication networks. Edge intelligence, as said, taking the computing power closer to the user. There we have been identifying the need for an intelligent internet of intelligent things. So there will be more intelligence everywhere around us to make internet more reliable, efficient, resilient, and secure. And 6G with edge-driven AI can play a fundamental role in this work. One of our claims in this context is that the performance, cost, security, efficiency, and reliability are the key features, and also measurable indicators of any edge intelligence solutions and how well they can provide the solutions. And then, of course, also the trust, security, and privacy issues. In this white paper defining those topics, we have been addressing some fundamental research challenges, and also the roles of interconnecting these topics and finding the different roles for them as well. But indeed, that this is a big challenge, and also of growing importance in the research discipline. Broadband connectivity in 6G, there some of the highlights here. We are expecting ultramassive MIMO to be realized with fully digital arrays and holographic radio to enable ultra-high density and ultra-high resolution spatial multiplexing. So this is really like going into this digital, technological core of the development work. So in this context, we do expect terahertz communications to provide high-capacity point-to-point links, which can be really the core for our 6G in the future. Intelligent reflecting services will be integrated to wireless systems, so they can be something which can be regarded as a smart, programmable, and controllable wireless propagation environment. So internet everywhere wirelessly. That's the vision. Critical and massive machine type communication towards 6G. In that white paper, we will be presenting main drivers, some potential use cases, key requirements, and some new service classes pertinent to machine type communication. A sort of a bird's eye view of a holistic end-to-end machine type communication network architecture. So definitely one of the technological focused white papers in our work. And then about the white paper on localization and sensing. In this context, we identify the potential enabling technologies and main features for localization and sensing. So this is also about assessing the opportunities of the environment-aware applications. So when we do have a very precise localization and sensing, that really creates new aspects and new possibilities for the technologies. We do expect that 6G systems achieve high accuracy positioning and high resolution sensing and imaging, which enables lots of things like autonomous navigation and advanced XR applications with rich and accurate virtual imaginary of the environment. So then we can really start talking about true digital twin, which is more or less like everywhere available. So it's about augmented solutions as well. And the research continues. Also the work with the white papers continues. And then as some thoughts about what we have been researching and how those research has potential for future development. One of the visions is, or I don't know if it's only my vision, but I think 6G is going to be something else than just another mobile phone. We do not need necessarily 6G phone. That's my wise guess. Key drivers for 6G. We are really talking about different types of drivers. We're talking about soft and hard drivers and values which are actually meeting quite well at 6G. Societal challenges we need to tackle. We are talking about education, we're talking about social services, health and well-being services. Also the regional development, urbanization versus remote work. As now we have the corona situation, I think these societal challenges are really showing the importance and really showing also the potential which we can use for the benefit of our digitalization and for the benefit of people's ordinary lives. UN SDGs, as presented earlier, that's really something where we can see that 6G can contribute to almost any of these sustainable development goals. Then at the same time, we are talking about technology enablers, which must be in place. There we are talking about, among other things, about non-device centric communications, accurate positioning, data sharing. Data, that's really going to be huge. It's already there. There's lots of data, and in the future, we can only imagine how much more there will be. And there are also lots of other technology enablers which will be developed as part of 6G development, but also as which will be enabled with help of 6G. Another perspective is also vertical productivity. That means that we can really improve the performance of our services. Just some examples. We're talking about health, manufacturing, property tech, transport, you name it. With help of digitalization, digital tools, and some practical solutions there where we link the technology with end users and appropriate business model, I think we can really contribute to the development and to improve the productivity, which is beneficial for the one who is buying the service, but also which is potential for the producer of these new products. As said, we are talking about more data, we're talking about higher speed, we're talking about lower latency. So in that sense, I said my wise guess is that smartphones are likely to be replaced. This is one guess, that we're talking about XR experiences, be it virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality, through new types of equipment. It could be lightweight glasses or something else. And also, especially now during this COVID times, which I think which is quite interesting and relevant, is this when we're talking about telepresence. With help of 6G, it will be possible, and in high resolution and with high resolution sensing as well, with wearable displays, etc., etc. So we can really start seeing the real telepresence solutions and products quite soon, which are already starting by using 5G solutions, but also at latter stage with help of 6G. Also, the autonomous vehicles are going to take a next step. We are really talking about ecologically sustainable logistics, which will be something totally different than today. We are really developing some new solutions which we cannot even imagine today, with help of wireless networks and distributed artificial intelligence and sensing. I think one main point here with 6G is that it's really merging the communications with new applications. In 6G, all user-specific computational intelligence may move to edge cloud. So there's big computing power and it's closer to the end user than today. So the integration of sensing, imaging, and highly accurate positioning capabilities with mobility opens really a huge opportunity for new applications with help of 6G and in 6G. So it will be not only about moving bits, it will be the framework of services, including communication services. So it is going to be really big game changer. We are talking about, as in some examples here in this picture, we are talking about eye tracking and hand imaging, local AR, VR computations. We are talking about new businesses and new imagination for us all. But to make it work, I think this security, privacy, and trust are the key points. We really need to embed the trust into the system of 6G. As 6G will create huge data markets, the privacy protection will be a key enabler to make it possible and also to make it trustworthy for the people. And in that context, the artificial intelligence and blockchain solutions may play a major role to provide the solution which we can make the security, privacy, and trust to happen and to make it happen in real terms. And another perspective is this verticals driving the development. In 1980s to 2000, there were like millions of voice users when we had 1G and 2G. In 2020, we have now billions of mobile broadband users, and then it's of course societal change. And when going forward, there will be trillions of connected objects and intelligence. It's not only like human users, but it's about machines as users, and that is really the big change. And the applications range will explode accordingly. There will be lots of new topics, and also the application verticals and value chains will emerge when talking about logistics, retail, agriculture, industry 4.0. So that is definitely new situation. So these vertical specific service providers are needed to complement mobile network operators offerings. So that means also the business framework will be totally different in the future. Concerning this business framework, the technological framework, which will be totally different, I think this radio spectrum policy will have a big impact. The radio spectrum policy would enable future innovations. So far, we have been working until 5G with operator-dominated closed ecosystems, where operators do have a central role. But from now on, when going into 6G, there will be more verticals-driven open ecosystems, where there will be flexible and novel spectrum regulation policy, hopefully, as a key to enable this to happen. And this would, of course, challenge mobile network operators to find new businesses and to change their operation model. But it would definitely enable new possibilities for us all. If you have good innovation idea based on these new opportunities, so please go forward for it. Yeah, indeed, 6 challenges. We have the verticals driving the development. Then we have the network architecture change from a centralized system to not so centralized at all, with new value chains appearing, enabling new businesses. And at the same time, also, we have the challenge of connecting the last billions, where we hope that 6G would provide the new solutions. At the same time, we are also talking about autonomous wireless systems, which would be the game changer. Well, all in all, major technology leap is required to make it happen, and I think we're in quite good pace in this process. If thinking about 6G, what is the future? All in all, I would say 6G will be more and more machine-to-machine communication. And when talking about machine-to-machine communication, there we are talking about situation where the lower latencies, the higher speeds are playing big role. It doesn't play that big role if the latency is not that low when downloading some YouTube video, but when going into machine-to-machine communications, that could have crucial importance. 6G also means new ways of using radio. It is not only about communication, but it can be used for new needs. Like for example, if taking radio as a tool for mass spectroscopy or radar. So there are new ways of using radio, and this is very much related to integrating radio to other infrastructure surrounding us. So all in all, also we could say that 6G will be enabler for new businesses and new business models. I think Mr. Tesla, 1925, he was quite good when he was saying, when wireless is perfectly applied, the whole earth will be converted into a huge brain, which in fact it is, all things being particles of a real and rhythmic whole. We shall be able to communicate with one another instantly, irrespective of distance. So I think he has been defining 6G quite well already, almost 100 years ago. So this is really good starting point for defining the next steps. What is 6G and what can we do with it? Next, I would like to show you our vision video of what we think, what kind of opportunities lies in 6G until the year 2030. So we'll see if this works.
We can't hear anything. Can you please activate the audio? There's no voice here.
So that was some of our visions for 6G. One place where it would be possible to see what's it all about will be in next September in Helsinki, Finland, where we will be arranging the next IEEE International Symposium on Personal Indoor and Mobile Radio Communications. Hopefully, we would be able to arrange it in a normal mode, but of course, we are prepared to develop also the virtual version of it. So let's see if that's going to happen, and let's also hope that you would be able to join our event there. Concerning our information about flagship and about what we are doing, please do take a look at our website, 6gflagship.com, where you can find all the latest developments of what is happening. You can also, as said, see our 6G white papers, which can be found from the 6gchannel.com. And you can also order the 6G Waves magazine, which is a sort of biannual, twice a year published magazine where we publish some highlights of our research. Concerning the white paper work, we are at the moment in a process of arranging some 6G Research Visions webinars. And you would be more than welcome to join our webinars. The next webinar would take place 14th of October, so it's pretty soon. So you just go into this 6gchannel.com/events website and register yourself, and you will be joining also the discussion and also being able to give your views about what you think about 6G and the future. Thank you very much for your attention, and I hope you had some new ideas about what is going to happen, and I would be more than happy to answer any questions and comment what you might have to ask.
Thank you so much, Mr. Michael. Thank you so
Sure.
much. We're gonna open up the questions. If anyone have a question, please raise your hand and we will unmute you, or feel free to write your question on the chat section. Anyone have a question?
So I can see from the chat that there was some trouble with my voice. Sorry for that, but definitely
Yeah,
I can share this information with all these links, for example, to our vision video, so you will be able to check that afterwards.
okay, great. Thank you. Any questions? Anyone? Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Maka, for your valuable time and your presentation. It was a great one. Thank you.
Thank you. And indeed, as a last point, please do not forget to follow also our website and the recruitment site there as well, because of course we are always looking for new talents to come and work for the 6G development. So please take a look at there as well. And indeed, it was a pleasure being here. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, now let us watch the task video that was requested from you. And yeah, enjoy watching it.
think about smart city networks, you might think about optical fiber, Wi-Fi, LoRa, 3G, 4G, so many options. But what is the most appropriate communication network to collect and transport city data? First, you need to remember that a city communication system has two main networks that have their own specifications. The data collection network is located on the periphery of the communication system of the smart city. And the data transport network, also called backbone, located at the heart of the communication system. Thanks to its reliability and its high performance, an optical fiber network will be the go-to option to build the city backbone network. It can also serve as a data collection network to connect specific sensors with high data bandwidth needs, like video cameras. Aims to collect data coming from various sensors located over a wide geographical area. Radio technologies like the Wi-Fi, the 3G, 4G, or the LoRa are most appropriate to meet this objective. Choosing the right technology will mainly depend on its technical characteristics, but also on its ability to create private networks owned by the city. For devices requiring data exchange with a good performance level and without energy consumption constraints, the best networks are 3G, 4G, or a Wi-Fi network. In particular, a private Wi-Fi network can be deployed to improve tourism attractiveness, but also to monitor crowd flows within the city. For services using sensors that consume less energy and transmit relatively less data, LoRa network is the most appropriate. As it is based upon open protocols, it enables municipalities to upgrade their smart city scenarios over time while protecting their long-term investment. Moreover, this technology has the ability to create a private network owned by the city itself so that they can manage their communication system, control data governance, and become economically independent. Communication networks are the first brick of the technological foundation that underlies the data journey in smart cities. As a network technology expert, Axians assists cities from the consulting phase all the way through to the maintenance of their communication system.
Significantly improve the functioning of smart cities by providing fast data transfer speed, low latency, and better connectivity for smart devices. The smart devices are at the core of an efficiently functioning smart cities. 5G will be helpful in harnessing the true potential of these devices. The following are some of the ways 5G and smart cities development can go hand in hand. Some benefits of smart cities: first, safer communities. Second, improved transportation. Third, more effective data-driven decision-making. Fourth, smart supply and smart energy and smart mobility.
Smart City can use new ICT, information and communication technology to fully connect people, information, resources and services. In the e-government sector, by providing online services such as passport or visa issuing via websites and mobile applications. As for city management, governments adopt big data technology to analyze real-time weather and traffic conditions, predict future changes, and notify citizens of possible meteorological disasters and traffic congestion at an early stage. By doing so, governments can better serve residents and manage cities.
Cities around the world are becoming smarter. They are implementing initiatives to promote cleaner and safer urban environments, with cleaner air and water, better mobility, and efficient public services. These initiatives are supported by smart technologies such as the Internet of Things (IoT) and Information and Communication Technology (ICT) that provide the technical framework to implement smart city projects.
Okay, let us first take a picture. Please, if you can open your cameras to take this picture.
Thank you, Hiba, for this great presentation. We really enjoyed it.
Thanks so much, Diallo. Can you open your camera?
Open your cameras, please.
Yala, can you take the screen?
I'm opening from the phone. I can't see the whole screen.
Yeah. Okay. Let's close this conference. Okay. We have had a long week and have participated actively, and I'm sure you are looking forward to getting more information and knowledge. So I thank you once again for your participation. I would like to thank everyone who made this success, including organizers, officials, and speakers. We hope to meet you in upcoming activities and events. Thank you so much again, and bye-bye.
Hello, please, finally, before you go,
Yeah, sure.
Okay, good. Please, can we get a link to the recordings of the previous days? Some of us who were unable to be part 1 or 2
Sure.
days. Okay.
Yeah, we will send it by email, inshallah.
And it will be downloaded.